Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna be starting work on the control configuration window. Kinda need to set up the window first though. So depending on what kind of query we're looking for. How did you know I was here? How did you know I was here? I mean, I can tell because of the viewer count and because it's my standard greeting, so regardless if anybody's here or not, it happens. So, you could say it was mere coincidence. Dialogue type. Alright, so we got a couple of dialogue types. Button axis selection. Axis options and button options. Oh god, typing. Lit. So depending on which window mode we have, we're going to create a different amount of components. I guess we're going to have a list of panels. Or a panel? I do like the box layout a lot. It's pretty self-explanatory. It lets me put stuff on different rows, so I don't mind that one too much. Setting up a layout for a window is pretty annoying though. So if we got axis options, what we're going to do is display every possible axis available to us. So we need access to everything's going to come from the dang module. So we'll always pass the chatlog module. Or controller module, excuse me. Controller module, parent module. And with that, we can now grab any data we want, presuming it is available to us from the controller module. So in our example, we're going to grab the controller itself and display all the possible axes . And I don't know how I'm going to do this, but for now, I guess we'll store a list of all components that are analog components. Analog controller components. So we'll be adding components as we find them. Let's loop through our controller or controllers. Is analog. And we'll add it to our list. Once we have our list of analog controls, we will then form a panel displaying all of them. For the time being, I'm just going to have labels to show every single one. So I guess we're gonna map every component to every label, or a label of some sort. Analog controller component labels. I think this is a J label. And we will create a new one for each one of these. So component label. We'll set up the text to be, well, we'll set the name of the component. Is it get name? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's get name. And then the value itself. Get poll data. And then we'll add that label to our list, because we're gonna update it as we move on. And then this configuration window is actually gonna call... We're actually gonna save this somewhere. So the controller module is gonna have a static control configuration window. Which is going to be null by default, but it will be available for us to use. And we can pull the update or the run from there and pull it into here. So if configure window is equal to null, then call configure window.run. We just have to make that inside of here, and then do whatever we want to with that. So when we create our window, we'll set this, set configure window. Then we'll call it inside of here. This .module .set configure window to this. Then, so now these are linked. They know that they exist. We also need to set a default close action. Should be able to do that pretty easily. Just need to figure out which one it was. I cannot find it, but I think we can set a default close action. Here we go. Well, exit on close, but there's something else. I mean, I guess if we close the window, nothing really happens, right? But on close, we should also set it to null if it doesn't exist anymore for the controller module. So let me see if I can find that real quick. It might be under panel, actually. Panel. Window event. Window closing event. Yes, let's do that. Window closing, set it to null. So we need to implement what is this called? Action listener. Window listener, I think. Then we have to add in all the things and override this guy. So on closing, stop module. Set configure window to null. Alright, so on run, we're going to grab the updates to all of these labels. So, run something like this. Gonna do a standard loop just to make sure nothing's out of order. Set text. And we'll use a similar format. In fact, I could probably turn this into a method in case I want to change it later. Get component value. There we go. And then we have to display all the J labels. So after setting this up, let's set up the window itself. So the frame is already existing. We just need to add in all of these to the panel. We need to add in all the panels. Actually, we don't even have a panel yet. So we make a panel. I guess we would do it in here, honestly. New J panel. Axis panel. Add in all of these labels. So we do that a bunch of times. And finally, we want to set up the size of everything. We want to use line axis. Let's just do 640 by 480 for now. I don't know how large or small it's actually going to be, but this is a good start. I think that's it. So at the very least, this will be set up. I'm going to make the button actually work with this. With dialog type dot button access selection. Actually, this is not the right place for this, but it's whatever. I'll put it in the right place later. The module will be... Controller module. Oh yeah, parent module. So module. Yeah. Alright. Let's take a look. Wrong quite yet. Click this. And we have some null pointers. Line 22. For interesting. Module should not be null. Windows should be set to that. Not that it matters. I don't know why we set the window, honestly. Is there a reason? I don't know what's null. That's the problem. It's gotta be... init, line 28. Oh. Dang it! Equals type. That would help when it... Alright. Click. I don't think we call f.pack or panel.pack, which will... Sure we get a... Wait a second. We need to do on this frame, don't we? There we go. And we have to add this panel to it. I think we're good now. Should display something. There we go. Holy cow, I can't read that at all, but we'll fix that later. At the very least, we now have numbers displaying, although it's ridiculous right now. We can see that they are there though, and they're reading from the controller, and if I press them in all sorts of directions, they do all sorts of things. So that's good, at least. That's a start. We need more stability with that though, so we're gonna fix that in a couple ways. First off, every label can have more spacing between each other, so I think we could do that with just a couple of spaces, literally. So that'll give some separation between each value. Next step, instead of showing these ridiculous amounts of decimal places, we can only show a couple. So we will decimal format this thing. We will just use this format. I believe that's how you do it. I might do 3 decimal places. That's probably good enough. We can just format this data down here. And that should be a little more reasonable. Alright. Yes. Much more readable. So we can see, so I'm moving the left stick up and down, that changes Y. Right and left changes X. Then the rotation is for my right stick over here. So we can see we're getting those values, so that's good. Alright. So far, so good. If I close it, doesn't give any errors because it... Good. Good start. I think these need to actually be, So ideally, we want them to be check boxes. So I'll probably make them check boxes. Just need to remember how to do that. Hold on. Checkbox. It's literally called checkbox. Alright, we'll do that then. We're gonna make check boxes. Instead of this, checkbox. Checkbox itself will have a component value, and by default it won't be checked. Set that down here. Then instead of set text, I believe it's something label. Set label. Let's check out that. Nice. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. It shows all of these values here. Then you can select whichever one applies. Which one you want to use. And And you can select up to 2, like for example, if I want the right stick, and I could do a 4-way axis, I would select both of these. So a 4-way axis lets you select 2, while a single axis lets you only select 1. Also, if you look at the Z-axis here, these are the shoulder buttons. So one shoulder button goes to -1 and one goes to +1. And if I don't press either, it just resorts to 0. So it's quite interesting how that works. So that's going to come into play later for the show digital value. Alright. So that's good so far. User selects 1 or 2 to map to axis control. Then we have to choose either a 2-way axis or a 1-way axis. So, I guess we can make pictures for this, honestly. Let's do that real quick. A 2-way axis would be something like a D-pad or a... Well, I guess it could be an analog stick. Like, I can just show a picture of the analog stick. Use the template image. Make one for that. It'll work out pretty well. Will it show like arrows or something when you tell the directions? I kind of want to just copy that thing right there, actually. Put this in a new layer so I can mess with it. I really just want the arrow. This might work, actually. Let's see. Kinda don't want it blurred, actually. Let's see. No interpolation, please. Go. This is good. Right in the center. Perfect. Four-way axis. I wish I had a good picture for a two-way axis, but basically a shoulder button. Might be able to just get an image here, a decent image. Oh, that might actually be perfect right there. Right there. Right there. Ah. Nope. So. See if we can get something like this. Like, that's perfect, honestly. Pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. Need like a... Two-way axis. Alright, so I assume it's like a... It's literally just under paint component. Oh, I should have copied that actually. I have it right here. Paint component. Well, crud. Because it's only for a panel. Wait a second, that might be all I need. Draw image. This is just a test to see if it works or not. Should work. Controller module dot controller path plus four-way axis. Should be a file. Let's try it. 0, 0. The observer is the panel. And it didn't draw. That tells me I might have to repaint it afterward. Or something. Let's try that. Nope. Still nothing. Okay. Alright, one more try. Nothing. So here's what we can do. Accept a panel with some components inside of it. And we include, what's it called? Ink component inside of there. Like so. And I'll do this here. You know, I didn't think about, but it might have to be a frame that's the observer. Let's see. What if the frame has to be the observer? I don't know. Not working. Or if we just repaint the entire frame. Repaint. Let's see what happens. If that's called at all. Repaint. So it is called. So either the image doesn't load or it's not visible. I bet you if we removed this, we would see it. That's what's screwing it up. Yep, there it is. So it is that. Causes all sorts of weirdness. At least we know it's doable, so must be the layout. So if I create another panel with those images, we should be okay. So this was more of a test. Let's make another panel with a similar setup. Exit. Selection panel. And And then we repaint the frame. Alright. Let's see. Something broke. Something most definitely broke. Can we not have this pop up anymore? No. Don't want this. Keyboard shortcuts. Nothing. I disable this. I want to disable this. Off. That's not what I'm looking for either. Notifications. Off. All off. Don't want you. Never did, and I never will. Why does it still work? I make this something ridiculous, like... Never gonna push that button, I swear. Alright. Perfect. So this didn't work. I guess I didn't really set a size for the panel. Can we just set the size of the frame? Honestly, that makes more sense. Size of the frame, okay. Where did my other stuff go? Interesting. I guess we need to set a size for everything. Nope. Doesn't appear to be correct. What is going on? I know what it is. Set the layout of this thing, and it broke. Box layout can't be shared. Okay. Your frame contains a panel which is a container for all the other panels. So you add everything to container, you add all panels to the container, and then you add the container. Okay. That makes more sense. So that You use line axis on axis panel. And use page axis on container. Alright, good start. I need to set the size of this thing. Oops. Do container.setSize. Should give me the correct size I need. Or not. For some reason, it doesn't expand. Probably because I have to do it after I add in the panels, and then set the size. Let's see. Oh hey lazy gamer. Welcome. Minimum size. Goodness. Let's hope that works. Can't remember if it's the frame or the... Nope. So it's not this container, it's the frame we have to set. Pretty sure. Something sets this up. There we go. Obviously that's too big, but... Ugh. To start. Oh, minimum size does set the absolute minimum. That's actually pretty neat. I'm thinking if there's more than 5 elements, we go to the next panel row. Let's see if we can set that up. So... have our list of panels we can use. Let's just do... add a counter. Counter goes up every time we find one. Counter is greater than 4. Counter resets. Honestly, we'll just do it this way. Counter equals counter plus 1 mod. I like doing math.mod. It is more, it's more guaranteed. So counter plus 1 modulus 5. And then if counter is 0, which means it just reset, we're gonna create a new, what is it called? A new panel. Create a new panel. So axis panel becomes, we add the current axis panel, then we set it up with the new one. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. Then down here, instead of just this, well, this should have been set up here. For JPanel, panel in panels, add it to our list of panels, and then also add our current panel. There we go. Alright, So that will handle anything if there are more than 5 axes controls. In this case there aren't. Now I could lower the number just to prove it works. Let's do modulus 2. So after 2 controls it should make a new line of axes controls, which it did. So this is what it would look like if it overflooded into the next row. Alright, so we'll go back to here. Alright, so we have our image set up. I need a... what is it called? It's not a label. Swing elements Java. Or components, I guess. Let me see. I need... do I need? I guess I just need another frame. Layered pane. Oh, that might actually work. Let's see. JLabel initialized with a background color, a border, some text, and a size. So I could probably just use a... I am looking for this though, so... JLayered pane. Let me try it and see how it works. What's the constructor like? Oh, no constructor, but specify component to this container at the specified index. I guess these are the indexes. Constraints. Position to insert the component. Well, we'll try this out. So all I want to do right now is display it and see what happens. do a checkbox for test. Test false. Main layer set size. I don't see anything. Okay. What about... Okay, let's do dark. Get a very large... I might be able to work with that. Possibly. And it's basically just another panel. It seems to function very similar way, so... Have any questions about that? Also, I may have to specify a panel using a y-axis setup next. The image, the checkbox underneath it, and then another image to the right of it, and the checkbox underneath that. Let's see. Oh, also, how did they do the image? Kinda curious. I want to see this real quick. Image icon. Oh, okay. I assume an image icon is a component. Looks like it. Don't really like that. Yeah, we'll just control it with images. It's a lot cleaner. We don't like how they did that. Okay, so let's add that to the selection panel. So instead of all this, let me think for a moment. So I can basically do this. Set background color before selection panel. So and we will do dot set background to just do red, blue. Something like this for now. Let's see how that looks. Nothing happened. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. What I wanted... Yeah, we can't do it this way. We'll just do... There we go. So I'm going to move the image over a little bit to the right. To the right. So you're going to be at... Honestly, it should be lined up. The image should be lined up with the element we're setting up. So we don't want the image in here, we want the image in a panel inside of selection panel. This becomes more of a frame. Like a frame around the panels. Add selection panel, which is going to have a couple of elements inside of it. So, selection panel, let's see. So again, we want a line axis for selection frame. By the way, this is why designing forms is a pain, because a lot of times add selection frame. A lot of times add more and more depth to them, and then it just gets more and more confusing. I missed something. Oh wait. Alright, so it should technically look the same, but now there are two elements of those, which we want to... Actually, we'll do this. Selection panel. Side. Probably do it in here. Where'd it go? Well, I know we're gonna have two of them. Side by side. I think it's because this one is already set up to be line axis, so we don't need two in one? That is so confusing. Why not just... So selection panel 1 and selection panel 2. Which are identical except for the images. It's two-way, one's four-way axis. Alright, so now we got two side by side. Need to line up two checkboxes. Or we can do radio buttons. I think that's what we need. Let's see. So for J radio button, I think you can categorize them so they don't... Let's see. To create a button group and add each radio button to it. Oh, that's how it's handled. I don't think there's anything specific about it then. Button group axis selection. I assume we can just add stuff to it as we please. Yep. So all we have to do is make the radio buttons in for this button. Four-way axis. axis button. Two-way axis. Add both of those buttons to the button group. Add those buttons to selection panels 1 and 2. Lovely. This doesn't have to be as large. Make it smaller. I just chose that size as a decent size to set it, but I don't think it has to be that large. Let's see if we can shrink it. Comes from the... Wait. Do I even use pane layer? Yes, I do. Actually, I don't know why, because I don't need that one anymore. So get rid of that. Then selection frame. Let's set the size afterward. Oh, no, not. Let's see. Well, I think it's like that because it's probably like that because it's just splitting the screen in half. Because the window's so big. So yeah, we can make it smaller. Not that small though. Oops. Too small. Let's try. What's the largest image? .141 pixels. So it will be 141 pixels tall. And maybe we can decrease the width to like 100. Doesn't have to be as large. It's too small. Why is it so tiny? This one. That's like the exact size I want. It's working. It's because it gets added first. No, that wouldn't be. That shouldn't matter. Because if we don't set it, then it just assumes the largest possible size. Like so. Anyways, we got more to add. Not worried. Show analog value. So We can add like a preview type of deal to it. So I'll have our preview panel. I'll add that down here. I have to mess with it a little bit. I'd rather... Let's do this, but we'll also add in set so this depends if it's a 2 or 4 axis marker. 2 axis. I guess by default will be false. We'll set this one to true by default. I don't want to add a listener here for the buttons. Can I give this a listener? Nope. It's these 2 buttons. We should give it a listener. So when this occurs, we need to adjust the value of the preview panels thing. So I guess we're going to store the preview panel somewhere. So I'll turn this into this. If we're running this, we know preview panel exists, so we will call, well, 2 axis is valid, so let's see. So let's give it that correct action commands that we want. Set action command B 4. This will be 2. And we have to set the action listener somehow. Add listener. Goodness, typing is hard. Alright. 4-way axis, 2-way axis. Switch on the action command. For means set preview panels. What is this called? Two axis. Well, this isn't a custom class. I guess we're gonna make one, because we need one. Alright. Preview panel. And this will be a preview panel. Alright, now we should have access to it. To false, this will be set to true. Cool. Think for a moment. So if it's false, yeah, that works. So I'm gonna be adding some stuff to ping component. For now, let's just draw a circle. Fill oval. Because why not? Let's see what we got. So, click this. Well, we can't prove if the action listener is working yet, but it should be working. What I will do is change that based on what we got. So, if two axes, draw a rectangle, otherwise draw an oval. 0, 0, 32, 32. Just to prove it's actually listening and changing. Alright. Oh, it's not. I guess it's because we're not repainting, so we gotta repaint. We could either give the window a redraw, or we give... What are we doing to run? I think it's the only thing we really have to update, so to speak, constantly. There we go. So now it changes based on if we select two-way axis or four-way axis. Do have to add some more things, but this is a good start. I'll be right back. I started up the water heater because, well, not the water heater, the water cooker, because I want tea. Because it's actually cold. It's getting cold. It's not even... I mean, I guess it is winter now. So far so good. I do want to do something with the checkboxes though, because a few of these are I want to control. Let me see what JavaScript. Checkbox, where's the doc? checkbox. Thank you. So it's a toggle button, which means it's probably an abstract button. Yes. Right there. Wait, back up. Yes. So it's an abstract button, which means it can obtain a button group, which means it can obtain a listener. So we are... Let me read a little bit more on what button group does specifically. If this works. Nice. Alternatively, we handle it manually on click, which is fine. We can do it that way too. Let's make one specifically for checkboxes. Checkbox listener. So if we're selecting a four-way axis, we're allowed to select two axes. If we select the two-way axis, we can only select one of the checkboxes. So that's why I need a custom listener for it. So we'll just output using the action command. Wait, no. Output. How do we do this? We can just check them specifically, each checkbox. That means I have to store them somewhere. Oh, I do store them inside of here. So we can look at them. Checked amount. I guess for the action command, we can return which one we just checked. Starts at 0. CB. So if it's selected, checked amount goes up by 1. In fact, we can do a shorthand, checked amount plus that. Interpret that as a value. Then if so, let's see. We need to know what our axis selection is. Which we can obtain from the preview panel. So 2-axis and checked amount is greater than 1. We need to uncheck what we just checked. Equals get action command, then uncheck it. We're using 4-axis and checked amount is greater than 2. Find the one we just checked and set to false. Now we set up the checkbox listener on all checkboxes. If it has one. Apparently it doesn't have one. Wait a second. We're not using a J checkbox, are we? That's interesting. Didn't even think of that. J checkbox. Oh, it's a capital B. Interesting. Well, let's use that because it's more flexible. Set action. Set action. Set list. I'm so confused. We have a set action command, but where's the set listener? So the label's not set yet. Or is it? Oh, it is. So, get... What? Get text. Is selected. Then what? So we need a listener for all these. Wonder how this is gonna work. Kinda expected J checkboxes to accept a listener. Oh, it's add action listener. I always forget it's add, not set. That always gets me. Every time. Alright. So let's try it out, make sure the logic is sound. So, if I have four-way axis selected, I should be able to select two of these. The third one should be unchecked. Except it doesn't look like it gets set that way. Or what? Oh. What? How does it work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't? Let me think. Oh, it's because it checks it while I'm clicking it. So when I click it, there's only two checked, so it lets me check a third one. So really, I'm checking if the amount checked is 1 before I click it. No, that still doesn't work. It's not consistent. Let's see. Why else would this not work? I'm gonna do some debugging. Let me go get my tea. So warm. Well, hot, but so warm. Okay. So I need to debug this because apparently it's not working as I am expecting. So I'm gonna output how many are selected first. Is selected, or is... I guess I'm just gonna do the boolean. And then checked amount is... checked amount is... Alright. So let's see if that should be fine. Like, that should be working as expected. I would hope so. Okay, so it gets set to true when I check for it. It won't let me select this one. Why are you working sometimes? Two-way axis. But it does feel like the more... more checkboxes I get, the less... the less of a chance I can check the box. Anyway. Something's not right here. Well, the true and false is right, and the amount checked is correct. So that only leaves this stuff. As far as I know, these are both string. Wait a second. The value changes. I just realized that. The value can change. So I can't use the action command of that label. I have to use... Gosh dang it. I have to use something else. Like the component name. Let's do that. I just realized that the name of the label changes. So we have to use the component name or something. So I will compare labels to the component name with the action command. How could I forget that? Equals our action command, then this checkbox must be deselected. Alright. A lot more typing, but that is how I was supposed to do it in the first place. Check previously checked box. Alright. Cool. So, four-way axis. Oh yeah, I forgot. So if there's more than two checked, there's more than one checked. I first I thought that was the issue, but it was not. 1, 2. I'll check the third. No matter how many times I try. Click this infinitely, doesn't work. Check this. Check this, check this. Okay. Now it is working the way I would expect. 2A axis, can't check anymore, although if there are 2 selected, one has to be removed, so I need to add that actually. We can do that here. We can basically do a checkbox listener call inside of here. We set it to 2. Checkbox listener dot. Wait, what? Yeah. Although, actually, no. We'd have to write our own to uncheck a specific box. We would uncheck any extra boxes, so we would go basically do this, but after the first box, we just check if it's selected. Something like that. So if we go here, boom. Gets rid of this one, because it knows we can only have one axis. We get to 4-way, we can select 2 again. Cool. Alright, and that leaves making the preview. So I actually want a label here that says preview, then the preview thing with the little, so for a 4-way axis it will show a little circle that moves around as the axes change. For a 2-way axis it's either going to be a bar or a, well, it's going to be a bar. What did I say? Or a circle. Yeah, if it's the other kind of analog value, it's gonna be a bar, and the bar we can configure that. A lot of my coworkers were sick at work today, so I'm probably next. I didn't have to work on Monday, so everybody probably came in Monday, got all sick and stuff. I haven't got it yet since I didn't work yesterday. But I'm gonna probably be sick tomorrow, or Thursday. Which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you're sick people. Alright. Let's get a text label squeezed into here. Axis preview. So the panel actually... We want to set up the panel using line axis, and then we want to... Yeah, we're gonna have to do some messing around here. I don't need this stuff anymore, I don't think. So we're gonna make some room. That was mostly for reference, but I've pretty much got it down by now. So we want to actually add a label to the panel. If you panel, add label. Let's also set up the layout. Oh, how'd you get way down here? What? Oh, that's because it actually has an element in it now. Let's adjust the size of it. We can set a minimum size. $120 pixels. It's not 120 pixels, what the heck? Well, I guess if it's lined up. Let's do it this way. It's okay, we'll add more stuff. Man. Why don't you change? Sometimes I don't understand. This happens. I think it's because I do this. I don't think the order of setting the layout matters. Like, I've messed with this stuff before, and I know it doesn't work that way. So I just don't know why the sizing stuff doesn't work either. I'll figure it out one day. need to, like, force something to be drawn, though. You know, it might be this thing right here. I want to see. Yes, that was it. So, Pack does that, where it tries to squeeze every element into the smallest possible size. Alright, so that's what it was. Which we don't have to do for now. So, wait a second. Where was the preview text? Is it still on top? Okay, now it's way over here. It kind of makes sense. I assume if I give it a width now, it should work. Now that's not constrained to the dang back to window. Nope. I would have to put the label in one panel, the preview panel in another panel. Come side by side. So, do container. That was just called container. So yes, container. That's what I wanted. For both of these panels. Oops. Okay. So instead we do compare.add preview container. Inside that we include preview label and then a label panel. Where'd it go? It's probably not lined up. I want it to be in a line. Here it is. Why is this so tall? Is it my set size? Yeah, probably. It is my set size. I just over-exaggerated it, trying to make it work. Still not working. Pretty sure I saved. I think. Why would it do that? If the other panel's height is that tall, it would do that. I'm pretty sure it's not that tall. Let's see. Don't know why that's happening. They're being added side by side inside this container. Wait, label panel. Wait a second. I was supposed to add the label panel. Add the. Let's try that again. To that. Although technically go. Box layout. Oh, yeah. That is a. Now it's like cut off. Is that because it's following sizing rules now? Let me see. It's not 32 pixels though. I feel like that's the size of the container. Let me see. Something's not sized correctly. So this is cut off here. That's the largest size we have for that option. So it's this panel that has to be increased in size. Hopefully that sets it. Doesn't. But why? Can I make this relative to preview container? Let's see. Nope. This is killing me. I need to revisit sizing elements. You know what? There's also layouts. I didn't even think about that. There's like positioning for containers and stuff. And I need to figure out how it works. See what this looks like. Set preferred size. Oh, that's what it is, the border layout things. And it's done inside just a J component. That's all it is. Well, it's a J component inside a J frame. Set content pane. What does that mean? So frame has a content pane. Frame has a title and a border. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's the window. Okay, that makes sense. So a frame has a content pane. The content pane can be a component which contains all of our elements. A border layout setup. I gotta look at this real quick. Border layout. Lays out a container, arranging and resizing its components to fit in 5 regions. Southwest, east, west, center. Each region contains no more than one component, is identified by a corresponding constant. Okay. Relative positioning constants. Page start, page end. Start, line end. Left to right. Okay. Component comes after the last line of the layout's content. Or the first line. Interesting. Okay. This is very helpful. So was what I just read. So, ideally, I would have a component which contains all of my stuff inside of it. But would I have more frames inside now? This is fine for a simple thing, but let's see. Can we get a more complicated example? I need to look at this in more detail. Solving common layout problems. This is the one I currently use, box layout. Create rigid area. What is this stuff? Box, create horizontal glue. Cancel button. That's interesting. I know more about the box layout. Create rigid area. Okay. I feel like there's a reason I didn't use the J panel before. Can't remember the exact reason. However, I think I'm supposed to. And I have a J panel here. Which contains this and this. Let me try something. So that should separate them. Actually, we have this going on right now. I think that's because this. Let's get rid of the container. Let's do that. What? Wait, I had the label panel to here, or I had the label here, and I added the label to, what? Oh no, that's not good. I think we don't have a box layout set up for this. So we need to do that. To just should adjust the sizing of these. Okay. Now we have this again. Now why does that happen? I think it's due to alignment. At least that's what it seems like. Set the vertical alignment. Right. Wait. It's vertical alignment, right? So up. Assume that's how it works. That is top and right aligned, then this might be doing its job. Separate those two. But this itself, don't know why there's a big gap. Why is there a big gap? So it is right aligned. I still don't know. It's white. Up there. Box layout, line axis. Both of these elements should be side by side. Unless I missed something here. I don't think I did. Kinda need to see. What the bounds here are. Oh. Wait. What? Is that after the panel is added? The panel must have a size of 0, then. It say top there. Panel is supposed to be part of this thing. To a component. This should work, right? Not that it matters, it's the exact same thing. Don't get why this is not part of it. Might need some spacing. So I don't know why this label text will not move up there. Dude, go up there. Just go up there. Why? Is it so tall anyway? Shrink the panel? That's possible. Didn't work. Why is this so hard? Alright, new idea. These components are on separate lines, right? So... we don't include a layout manager. Then... okay. See, that is what I was looking for. So the layout manager is what did it. Okay. Need one there. This I can remove. Then we can start messing with getting this to work correctly. So I set the preferred size to 24 for testing purposes. Panel has a preferred size of 24. The preview panel should be a preferred size of 32. Okay. There we go. Now it's lined up. And gonna remove the blue background now. So next thing I need to do is, well, make the preview work. Something similar. So again, if we have 4-way axis enabled and we have 2 of these checked, it should use a combination of those 2 to determine the X and Y position of said axis. So if it's a 4-way axis, and we select 2, one of these is going to be an X and one of these is going to be a Y. So that's what we're looking for, specifically. I should be able to determine them from the components we have. Man, I really should have made this a hash map. This would have been a lot easier. And I still could, but at this point, why bother? It was an oversight on my part. Analog controller component labels. Oh. We have to bring in the window. Goodness. Contains X. X val. And Y val. Get I. Dot contains X. Get name. Isn't this a string? Get text. There we go. goodness. And this is for y. Set the y value. Once we have both of those, we can determine where to draw a smaller circle, an outlined circle. Draw oval using a what should we use? Color entity. Set it to white. And it'll be a smaller oval. It'll be like 8 by 8 in size. The X position will be anywhere from 0 to 24. Let me think for a second. 0 to 24. Based on if the X value is negative or positive. So we just do X value plus 1, that way it's non-negative, multiplied by, wait no, divided by, so that's a double, so we're good there, divide by, multiplied by 24, because that will give us the ratio. So at -1 it's 0, at 1 it's 24. Yeah, that should work. Don't see any problems with that one. Now this makes it a square. Actually, that's not really a problem, because an analog stick is circular. Does that work? I think that works. That should work. These are doubles, so I have to convert them afterward. I think this is the correct math, though. Let's try it. So, we do this and this. I need to repaint. I thought we already repaint this thing. Wait a second, 1 plus 1 is 2, so that makes 24. That's not right. This needs to be multiplied by 12, not 24. It's gonna be half. So if it's 0, that means it's in the middle. It'll be 12 pixels. Also, I just realized the big oval is covering the little oval. So I need to flip that. So it'll be black. That's probably why we couldn't see it, because I do repaint right there. So, I know it wasn't that. Let's see. Not moving. It's not. It's not. Shoot. It is moving. Wrong one though. This is great. At least I made that part work. So, I'm not looking at the ones I'm selecting though, it's just choosing the last two. So first check if this is selected. Same. Alright. Now it will only use the ones I selected. So right now, none of these should work. If I select X, it'll start using my X-axis and Y. I could also do something weird and use the Y of this axis and the X of this axis, which feels weird to control, because it's not the same axis. Alright. So this is my other analog stick. You can kind of tell because aligned differently. I think my D-pad is just a bunch of buttons. Let me see. No, it's not. It's also an axis? Oh, wait. Something just happened. Just not detect? Hold on, I gotta redo that. That's not... Let's see. That's weird. It only works when I press left. But why? I just realized, yeah, the D-pad should be its own axis or something. I'm confused. There's only 5 axes on this controller, apparently. So, thought it was a button. Works for the left, but not for the other directions. Oh, you're good. My programming sessions are usually too chaotic for people to help anyways. Or to the point where it's like I'm not diving into that spaghetti code. Gotta go bed too early. Hey, thanks for hanging around, lazy gamer. I'll see you around. You have a good sleep. Gotta figure out this button issue. If I can. So I'm gonna open up this again. Take a look at all the components real quick. So I'm pretty sure Y-axis, X-axis. Wait, hat switch. That must be it. A hat switch. What's a hat anyway? I'm guessing it's something that only lets you press one of 4 possible inputs. And I do not have a reading on the hat switch yet. So it must be a button, because it's not detected as analog. But I think it has... there's a certain way to read it. Because when I pressed left, it read it. Which means that must be producing the value of 1. So maybe it produces a value like 0, 1, 2, 3 or something. I need to look at this. Let's see. So I didn't really pay attention to the hat switch before, but it is something I should probably look at now that I'm noticing this. So I'm gonna open up this, see what it says. So, button POV held down. So we can see that says it's held down in all 4 directions. No matter which one I press. I'm pressing right now, you can see the scroll bar kind of move as I press them. So we know it's identified, it's not equal to 0, so what are the values? Let's find out. Value. Because I didn't think about the hat switch. Special type of button. 0.5, 0.25, 0.75, and 1. Huh. So a hat switch has values ranging from 0 to 1. That's very interesting. Well, there's a couple of options we have here. Right now we're detecting only 1, but we could detect 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1 as different buttons. But in order to do that, we have to also store the value, not only the identifier of the button. So it would require a change in our save format. But doing it that way might be doable. This is quite interesting. Alright. So when we request for the button to press down, button set, we will wait here for a button, right? So if it's greater than 0, that's what we'll write. We'll say if it's not equal to 0. We'll store the poll data, because for all buttons it's usually going to be 0 or 1, but for a hat switch it can be 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or 1. So in that case, we do gotta stored controller value. And this, my friends, will allow us to deal with the hat switch easily. I did not think about that. It's a good thing I was randomly trying to set that, because that was definitely something important. So we're storing it now, right here. We just have to add the button, and we have to add that as a requirement for our buttons here, which means we're gonna have to change the save format, as I said before. So here's our identifier. We're gonna add a value as well, and we're just gonna throw the value in right here. Button value. Button val. Boop, boop. Then. And finally, so if poll data is equal to value, instead of just 1. Then we do this. And then for our save format, I'm probably gonna append it to the end, just for compatibility's sake. Yeah, we haven't released it yet. We don't need to worry about compatibility just yet. I'm just gonna delete what I currently have and remake them. Value. A comma. We have to parse the float right here. Split. So for this, this is why I don't do numbers usually. I use a variable and I just do I++. If I ever change the save format, I don't have to change all the numbers that go after it if I use this method. There we go. So value after identity, value after identity. Perfect. So that save format should be fixed. We just have to update where we add our button and include the stored value, controller value. Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's give it a shot. We have to delete our old config because it's not compatible anymore. It will produce bizarre errors. We use what we currently have. Alright. We are again. No buttons exist yet, but we're gonna add a right gamepad press. Hello? Hello? Oh, it didn't work, or something's not working for it. It is showing up there, so my guess is I didn't recompile? Oh, I didn't recompile. Go figure. Because that debug message still appeared when I clearly deleted it before. I'm gonna delete this one too. So I just forgot to recompile the jar. I got too excited with fixing the save file that I forgot to save it and run it again. So we're gonna try this one more time. Right press, there we go. There's our right press. We're gonna do the down press. We got the, I know they're not the same size, I don't really care right now. Got the left press. Got the right up press. There we go. So that's how we configured our hat switch, no problemo. Make this B button over here real fast. So that still works fine. So normal buttons work fine still, that works fine. Dialog here has our axis preview, so if we turn this on, this on. Alright. Well, we're making good progress. We are definitely making great progress here. I'm really enjoying how this is turning out so far. So since we made some good progress, this is a good point to commit before we progress. Implemented basic axis configuration dialog box. Added hat switch POV axis or button compatibility. Heck yeah. I love it. It is getting a little late. This is actually a great stopping point, by the way. I know there's still so much more to do. We're not quite finished yet, but I'm getting a bit tired But this has been some great progress today, and I had a lot of fun working on this. I am really enjoying this, and I'm looking forward to finishing this. This is going to be a really great addition to sigIRC, especially for streamers that want to use gamepads to display what they're doing while playing a game. So it's going to be very beneficial for me once I do finish this whole thing up. It's a pretty big project, but it's pretty dang awesome too. And you know, the great part is all this is going to be available free. You know, there are programs out there that do the same thing, but they require money as well. So I hope to provide some decent free solution to something like this as well, but also maybe with more custom features or more customization, you know? That's always what I aim for. Anyways, for those of you that tuned in tonight, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I know I've been enjoying. I hope to continue with this later. Take care, everyone. I might be doing some Rabby Ribby gameplay tonight. Just chilling with the game for the rest of the night. I haven't decided what game yet, but probably Rabby Ribby. So I may turn my stream back on randomly and start playing that instead. Take care.